So good afternoon. So today we are going to see how we carry out mechanism. Like how do you form a compound from the reactants? How do you form products from the reactants? So what we are going to do today is what we call mechanism. What is a mechanism? A mechanism, this is a process. A mechanism is a process of forming something or making something to happen. So we are going to see how we carry out a mechanism in chemistry. So we are going to see a mechanism of alkane called the free radical mechanism. So whenever you are forming alkanes, there is a common method that we use known as the free radical mechanism, called a free radical mechanism. And we see that this mechanism is the most commonly examined when it comes about forming alkanes. So we see that this free radical mechanism is made up of three stages, and the first stage is known as initiation. Then our second stage is known as the propagation, and then lastly is known as the termination. So in initiation, we are starting a reaction, right? Then in propagation, we see how the reaction occurs, and then termination, we see how we end this reaction. And this is the agenda of today. So we are going to start with initiation, whereby we see that if we have the equation, the most common equation we always have is the methane equation, whereby we have CH4 reacting with chlorine. These are two molecules of chlorine, and this is CH4. We see that we will form what we form CH3Cl, and then we form HCl. So this is a reaction that is most commonly examined when it comes about the mechanism of alkanes. So using the free radical method, you are going to start with initiation. What is initiation in this case? In initiation in this case, you are going to break one molecule. We're going to break one molecule of this, but before we go to that, remember, a bond always has two electrons. So if we have our chlorine Cl2, how was this chlorine formed? So in actual sense, here I have two Cl, but I'm not going to show you. So how was this formed? When you have Cl is the same as this, but remember, when these were bonding, we had two electrons here, and these two electrons are known as radicals. So just know that our reactions are all about these radicals. So after knowing that, let's start with our initiation. In initiation, we are breaking down our first molecule of chlorine. So remember I said that these chlorines are two, but we are going to break one by one. So first of all, in initiation, we first break down the first molecule, which was Cl2. We see that we have Cl2Cl. This one has this. So I want to write this in a way that it will react. So here I'll write it as 2. There are two, remember, Cl, and this one, the radical, represents this. Are you seeing? So now that is our first stage known as initiation. Then after initiation, this is initiation. So we are going to our second stage of reaction in the propagation, where I say that we will see that we will form this product here, which can give it a name. I know you know it. So we have our second process called propagation. So in propagation, we are going to bring our CH4, and that will react with one molecule of our chlorine. Whereby we will see that we have, but for the means of reaction, we are going to write this in a way that it can be simple for us to understand how the reaction occurs. So I can write like this. I can write H, free C, then H. Remember I said the bond always has two electrons here and here. Right? So now I said that we are going to react it with one molecule. Remember I said that we have two molecules here. So I'm going to react it with one molecule. Of what? Of chlorine. So remember I said this reaction moves with the radicals. So the radical here, right? sorry, we are going to bring our remember that we break down these two, break down this molecule into two, which are these. So one molecule, one chlorine from here is going to come and react with what? With our methane here. So it will be like this. So this is the reaction. So in this reaction, we will see that one radical from here will be contributed, and then this one radical we have on our chlorine will also be contributed. And then the remaining radical, remember here we had two radicals, the remaining radical will come on this chlorine, on this carbon here. So what will we form? Since we have removed this bond, then this hydrogen will come and take this chloride, and then we will remain with H3C, which is the same as which will remain with H3C. Remember, it had one radical here, so this is the radical which remained here. And then remember, the hydrogen went to the what? The Cl. So it becomes HCl. So this is the first stage in our propagation stage. So now we are going to remember, this one has to react. It has to react again. So this one is going to react again with the what? With the other. Remember, there are two chlorides here. So it's going to react with another chlorine in here. So we will see that we have H3C. Remember, it has one radical up. So it will react again with another chlorine which we left here. So which was? Are we getting? Sorry. So you see that this one, remember, at first I said here we have two molecules, right? So we have seen that one molecule has reacted in the first part of propagation. Then we are going to see that another molecule is also going to react in the second part, so that we react all these molecules. So in the second part, we have the same stuff as we did here at first. So this is our second molecule. Remember, I had two molecules. The first molecule, break it down in initiation, and then it comes and reacts here, and they form this and this. Now in the second molecule will come and then react with this product here we have, and then we say that one radical will be contributed by our reactant, and then another radical will be contributed by the chloride. Then we shall see that this remaining one will go to this chloride here. Remember, these two chlorides each have one radical. So the first radical, the first chlorine like contributes its radical to the what? To this carbon radical comes here to form a bond, and then the last radical that remains comes to this chloride that comes here. So we shall see that what will we form? Remember, I have removed the bond, meaning that this chlorine which has donated its radical will come here, and then the remaining chlorine will stand its own. So we shall see that we will have H3C. Remember, this one which has donated comes and bonds with this, forming this, and then our chlorine remains alone with its radical up. So when you analyze this, it looks the same as this. Just the organization differs. But when I organize this, I will see that I will have CH3Cl, which is related to this, right? So that's how reaction occurs. So when we leave it like this, we shall see that the reaction might continue. So we have to terminate it, and the last stage of free radical mechanism is called termination. So we are saying that in termination, remember, at first we remained with what? With only one chlorine from here came and reacted with what? With this methane. And now we remained with one Cl here. So this Cl which remained here is going to come and react with this Cl which remained here. So we see that we are trying to stop the reaction. So that means you get this Cl here with this one radical which remained here. Remember, these were two. So we took one, reacted it, we formed this and this. So that means that remained with one. So this one which remained here is going to react with this one which remained here, and we form our Cl and this is known as the termination stage. Hope you have understood. You can make more research and then you get to know how you have really done this mechanism process. Thank you.